Morning, everybody. It's 8:10 a.m. It is March 25th. Good morning. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Opening up this market, we are down pre-market. There's some negative semi news for Intel and AMD. China is trying to basically get them out of corporate using these chips. That's sending Intel and AMD down pretty big this morning. And then Google and a couple other, I can't remember who else is saying that they're going to compete with Nvidia. So that's sending Nvidia was positive earlier. It's turned negative. So let's see how this shakes out today. Um, so we've had two red days after a big move up. We're kind of working that big move off right now. So we have to see where we land. Of course, this market is so bullish. So I don't know how this dip's going to be played. Are people going to buy it? Or is this a little more than what that is? Is there a little more something that's going to happen here or not? Not sure. Okay. So without further ado, let's get into this. My name's Steve Gonzalez. Welcome to my channel. I use volume profile, market profile to find structure in the market, along with supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, anchor VWAPs, and the most traded price of the year, the month, the rolling week, and the previous day. All helps me find structure in the market. And when all these things, sometimes they all line up, it just serves as confluence and gives confidence to possibly put a trade on. That's basically why I use them in conjunction with each other. Okay, so you can see from my scenarios every morning that I give, that's my blueprint for what's going to happen every day. Okay, and hopefully, if you're watching, like what you see, you give me a thumbs up or a like. Okay, you could also follow me on X at Gonzo719. Okay, now let's move over to what's going on in the futures this morning. All right, see who's our leaders, who is our laggards. And we have Bitcoin up 4.9%. Okay, VIX has risen 4.29%. Okay, it's up to 13.62. Ether's up 3.14. Gold, all right, had a nice little pullback. It's getting bought up. It's up 0.68. Crude is now it's pulled back and now it's just trading in range. All right, silver's flat. 10-year yield will report at 820. Silver is flat, like I said. Russell's down 0.10. Dow's down 0.20. 30-year bonds are being sold. Okay, that should make yields rise a little bit. ES is down 0.35, and the big loser is the Nasdaq's down 0.58. Okay, based on the semis have weakness this morning. Okay, and Microsoft. Okay, China's trying to get Microsoft off their corporate computers as well. So that's also what's pushing the markets lower today. All right, so let's move over to the Max 7 Plus. Of course, with the Bitcoin coin is getting some love. Boeing is getting some love, up 2.2%. All right, that's really it for that. Let's go into these laggards. All right, you got Apple, got the antitrust lawsuit going on with Apple. That made a nice push up, but then it went right back down. Microsoft, like I said, the China news. Snow is down 0.82. Tesla down 1.25. That continues to be weak. AMD, that's the big one, down 3.55. I saw that China is 15% of their revenue. So that's pretty big for AMD. What's going on with that? Okay, who knows with this market? This could be a dip buy. All right. I did write in my notes over the weekend with AMD in particular. This should raise the already high IV for this stock. It was getting held by the 50 EMA. Oh, I'm sorry, the 50 moving average on the daily. Had a very bearish imbalance on the profile. I was looking on the upside to break 174. To the downside, we're looking at 164 or 160. Now, right now, we're at 173. Okay, it closed at 179, but 174 is a key support, and then below that is the 164, 160. So really have to see what happens there. Okay. Also had a note about Microsoft, a possible short. Now it's already doing that without the news. Without that news even coming out, I didn't even, now 430, 428. If you lose 428, now it already lost 428 pre-market. So we have to see what goes on with that. Okay, moving on. Let's go to the top sectors. Disney got an upgrade. That's why it's getting love, up 0.98. Okay, if we're looking at any lagger, we got Salesforce down 0.29, McDonald's down 0.58, and Qualcomm Semi down 0.76. Okay, that's what's going on there. Now, if we look at swing trades, my swing trade list, Lucid, it's getting big time love. Let's see why Lucid's pushed up. Lucid Group announces $1 billion investment by a PIF affiliate. Okay, so it's up 17% this morning. That's pretty impressive. Bitcoin ETFs up 5%. MicroStrategy is up 3.74. This is, I believe, Sealy Tempur-Pedic, GameStop, Mara, Riot. Those are the ones who are up. There's not a lot of the ones that are up. Let's see who's down. The laggards. There you got Intel. Okay, United Airlines. Looking at constricting routes. Tilray's down. Regeneron. That's about it. All right, for those. Okay, moving on to just the sectors. Leading the pack, which is not much of a leader, is energy. We really have laggards to talk of, and that is communications, technology. Okay, technology is NVIDIA, is AMD, but it also, that semis are encompassed in XLK, so that's down 0.65. Okay, most times when we have seen the semis down, you don't usually get some follow through, it gets bought. But this is pretty negative news, so who knows? I don't know. Really don't, right? You could be looking at it like AMD's cheap now. So we really have to see. I'm really not sure what's going to shake out here. All right, let's move on to the economic calendar, some market news. Like I said, I kind of went over some of that already, but we can go over it. So let's just go to that. All right, so what do we have today? Today we had Fed Bostic talking at 8:25, Chicago Fed at 8:30, and then new home sales at 10 a.m. And then we have the Dallas Fed at 10:30, and Fed Cook speaking at 10:30. Tuesday, durable goods, not much going on there. And then you got Fed Waller speaking at 6 on Wednesday, which is after the market closes. GDP on Thursday, jobless claims, pending home sales. And then on Friday, we have the core PCE. That's the Fed's preferred inflation gauge. So that's really the big one for Friday. That's really it there. Now we can go right on to the news this morning. Apple, Meta, and Google. Okay. Stock fell over 0.5 after EU antitrust regulators launched investigations. Already talked about China would limit the use of their chips and servers in government computers. That's what it was, government computers, not corporate, government computers. Tesla downgraded. That's why that's down. Walt Disney got upgraded. That's really it. As far as that's what's kind of going on in the market. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to talk about. Let's see if there's anything with the juice. Not really. Not really. Alright, I think we can go over to the daily charts now. I think it's safe to say we can go over to that. Let's look at that channel, how that channel's been looking. That indestructible channel here. And it looks still pretty good, right? Here's when we touch that channel again, and we selling off 2 days now. Now, like I said, can we go? This would be, around 516, 17, 517 if we go to the other side. Okay, you can get a closer look at this. So, if we're as we're going through the week, you could see that this channel could be supportive around here, 516. Also lines up with the breakout point. So who knows? Possibly can go there, right? Um, we're right now at 519. Let's call it 519.90. So all the way down here. So we're gapping down. All right, so we have 2 selling days and a gap down. Now, generally, that tends to get bought up a little bit sometimes at 2 days. I like actually 3 days selling and gap down. That's usually a good time for a reversal. But we just have to see how this plays out. It's Monday morning. We really have to see. Okay. Now, on to the Qs. Qs have their own little channel going on. It's a new one that started here. You can see it started right there. So let's go to that. You can see resistance, 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 right? But we're in the middle of this channel. So you can see we don't really have like the SPY's channel is more perfect. Okay. So you don't really have 2 red candles on the NASDAQ. SPY was internally very weak on Friday, but Nvidia was kind of holding it up. So and Apple kind of got some love. So where are we at now? We're at 444. 444. Yeah. So we are right at the previous week's, not last week, the previous week's highs. Let's see if that can be good. Now you notice here you got a candle's high here, a candle's high here. So this is resistance, prior resistance turning into support. That's where kind of we are right now. Okay. If this was to fall to this trend line over here, this could fall to 437. So not sure if it does that at all. You got the 20-day simple moving average. So you're not gapping down. So well, you are in the terms of from the settlement. So I don't want to confuse people, because in futures you don't go by the close, you go by the highs and the lows. In stocks, obviously, you go by the close. So we'll have to see. All right, I think we can close that and go to the triple-headed monster and look at that bond market. Let's see who we are in a grand scheme of things here. So 10-year yield is up 0.33. Okay, so here's right here the 200-day moving average. Now we're bouncing up. Okay, so this is just in a web of moving averages. The 10-year yield, I don't think it knows what it wants right now, the bond market. So now fears lifted a little bit. You can see it's gapped up here, gapped right up here. We were down here, so tiny bit of fear coming, but it's nothing to really be worried about until we get over 15 and hold it. Let's go to the dollar. Dollar getting a lot of love this morning. I'm sorry, it's not. Hold on. The dollar's actually is down. So why is this? Am I not seeing something here? $104.20 right here. Why is it showing the dollar's down? Where the heck is the... Am I going crazy? Where's the candle for today? Whoa, I've never seen that before. It doesn't have a candle. That's Friday. Where's today? Huh. I haven't seen that before. So the candle's supposed to be down here. Okay. So you had some strength in the dollar. So just keeping an eye on that. None of these are really telling us much right now. Just a lot of indecision. That's all it's telling us. All right. That's that. Let's move over to market profile. And we'll look at structure together, okay? And we'll look at this profile together and what it's telling us. So here's the last rolling week, okay? got a little distribution here, then you have the move up. Now you have a lot of volume. The value area is up here, okay, and it's very bullish and balanced. Usually, see how flat this top is? Usually when a profile you have excess. Okay, I know we're down here, and the most trader price in the 24 hours did move higher. However, in the RTH, it still was down here. And I said, if we can't establish value up here, you're going to return back to value if price can't pull value up. Okay, so that we really have to watch that. Now remember, 52.64 is the 50% retracement of the move from this big day, from the breakout point, right? And we've kind of had lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. This is just building liquidity up here. Okay, because what happens if we go down a little bit, right, and then we get bought, right? Just think about all the liquidity that's been short, right? That's fuel to again make that excess happen to go higher on the top. Okay, because this market's still bullish. Any dip is an excuse to buy until that doesn't happen, right? Okay, so remember, big levels below us. We're above that. In the macro like little scheme, we're definitely bullish. Okay, monthly VWAPs all the way down here. Buyers are in control for the month, which doesn't surprise anybody. Okay, now as far as what we're doing this morning, we're gapping, right? So there's a low and high from Friday. Here's the overnight low. Here's the overnight high. Now you do have a supply zone right here. You do have week-to-day VWAP right here, which doesn't mean much yet because it just started. Okay, we are building out volume down here at the lows. This is the long activity to all this short activity. Okay, so that's about maybe like 85% net short in the overnight. You can see a lot of volume was concentrated up here. Okay, so and then we fell. So we just have to like really look at this, right? Now, gap rules. We could gap and go. We could pull back, fail to fill the gap, and go. We could fill the gap and go down, right? Those are the bearish scenarios for the gap. If we pull back into range, maybe knock out the supply, well then maybe we come in here and we do that. And then the sellers aren't that strong. That's how you gauge it. It's really how you gauge it. Okay, we did close at the lows. Okay, so really it's now there is a 24-hour most trader price here. However, we can really look at the most trader price of Friday as our line in the sand for today. That price is 5,300. Okay, that's the most trader price of Friday right there. I would say if we stay below that, you have a good chance of farther downside. All right, if the bulls happen to make us come above there, then we're probably going to balance off here or move a little higher. Okay, so we can look at scenarios together here, and let's look at that. Let's do that. Okay, so again, I like to see whenever we're gapping down like this and we're overly short. Remember, there's shorts. I just want to make everybody clear from something. There's shorts, 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 shorts getting paid. So you have all those people in profit if they're holding their positions. Whenever you're down here and you're at the lows and you're overly short in the overnight, you tend sometimes to get a push back up from people taking profit. Okay, so I would like to see it stay down there. Now, if we're going to go with a bullish case, so this is it. So you get a gap and go, you push down. Now here's the 50% of the big move, right? If you get support here like this, do higher lows, you're most likely are going to come all the way back up here and try to fill that gap into the supply. Okay, now if you make it into this supply, you're going to get some resistance and wake the day view up, and then let's see if you can test the most trader price of Friday. Right, that could be it for the sellers. They could get exhausted down here. Okay, that's what I'm going to really be looking at. Okay, now as far as the bear scenario, what did I talk about earlier, right? If we push down, we come back up, and again go into this supply, which would also fill the gap, but you have supply. The week to day VWAP is going to be here. You could hit your head on this, and then we could start to roll over. Okay, and if we roll back over, whoever was long here is going to cover, and we could find ourselves drifting all the way back down to the most trader price of the month, which is about 52.33. Okay, there's a demand zone there, so we could bounce. Okay, that's a good possibility. Okay, now remember, it's all about this level here, 5,300. That's what I'm saying. If we stay below here, you could chance to roll over. If the bulls manage to get back up to it, I think we probably stay up here in balance. Okay, that is the ES scenarios. Okay, and let's move over to the look at the Nasdaq. Let's look at how that structure looks like. Okay, now they had a key support level here that's been broken. Okay, so let's look at that profile. Got the little distribution here. Here's that thin volume, and then you got the value areas all still down here. Then you have a distribution here. That's what we're looking at. Okay, most trader price of the year, the month, all down here at that 182.60. Big level. All right, there's the 50% right here of that big move. Okay, price is here. We're at the lows, not as big as a gap as it is in the ES. Okay, we got some supply up here. Okay, so what do we have here? We're building out some volume down here, and we're gapping down. All right, here's Friday's highs, Friday's lows. Now notice ES closed at the lows, and the Nasdaq closed at the midpoint of the session. See, the Nasdaq had the strength on Friday. Okay, that's why it's down a lot more, because the close was in the middle of the session. As the difference was in the ES, it closed at the lows. That's why the big difference this morning. Okay. Okay, now let's look at this. I already talked about gap rules earlier, so I don't need to talk about that. So we're gapping down small, and it's going to be pretty much similar to what I said here. Really want to look at the most trader price of Friday here. That's 153.37. Okay, that, if you stay below that, now look, you have a supply zone, and you have the week to day VWAP right there, and another supply. And you can see in the overnight, this was all getting bought up here. And then once you came below that, boom, you broke it, right? And I can break this out real quick to show you what it looked like. All right, so we opened here, pushed up, and then bam, sold off. Okay, so key here is right here. Okay, so pretty similar scenario here. Now you are closer to the month to date VWAP here. Still buyers are in control though, right? So same thing here. This is the high, this is the low Friday, overnight high, overnight low. Okay. Now, again, same thing. We are about probably like that's the long activity to all this short, right? You're probably 75% net short at the lows. Can this push down lower, right? So if we go to a scenario, we'll go with the bullish scenario. Okay, we're building that volume here. My guess is we probably go a little lower. So what I'd like to see is the market gap. We're gapping and going right now. You do have all the way down. I'm not sure if we go this low, but this is the 50% of this move of the big day. I'm not saying we go down that far, but maybe if we push down, because there's not a lot of volume here now. You have to understand here. If they were really weak, we should flush. But if the market catches a bid and you start doing higher lows, this is your point where now I want to show you something. This concentrated volume down here are shorts. Okay, they are shorts. So if we take them out and hold, we're going to go back and test the most traded price of Friday and the supply. Okay, then it's the market's job. Can you break this supply and hold up here? And then we might do this today. Okay, now conversely, what am I going to look on the other end, right? Even if we do that, come down, push up, the longs get up here, well, then here's a decision. Because you got the most traded price of Friday, you have supply zone here, and week to date VWAP here. Okay, this is the battle zone. If you come in here and you really struggle and you break down and you hold it and you get some lower highs, we're probably going to test down here again. And if it gets really weak, we could find ourselves at least testing month to date VWAP. That's at 183.64. If we break that and hold, we're going to go back to this monster level. And again, I don't know if this is in the cards for today, but it has to be part of the scenario. And that's a monster level. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get rid of this big move that we broke out from. It's going to be lost. And what's been driving this market? Semis. So if you get weakness in Nvidia today, AMD, all right, and Apple and Microsoft, this could be the day we return back to this big price, right? And then that could be the big buy where everybody buys it. I don't know. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be looking at today. It's going to have to do a lot of work to get through this. So really going to be patient. Really going to be patient this morning. Okay. So hopefully everybody enjoyed that. Okay. Now, if there's anybody watching, I'm not sure. If you have questions about the market profile, the volume profile, because I know it looks crazy, I can always obviously look at candlesticks. I mean, you'll see the same stuff. I can explain it. It might look easier to understand. Okay. I know when I first looked at this, it was not easy to understand. But now I prefer to look at the market this way. It just makes me easier to make decisions. Okay, that's all about, right? Whatever makes stuff easier to make decisions. All right, so if you like what you saw, please give me a thumbs up. Okay, you can always follow me on X at Gonzo719 as well. Okay, now we have our plan. Hopefully everybody sits back on a Monday. It's always I always like to sit back as much as I can on Monday and build a story for the day. Okay, because in the beginning there's some volatility, but then you need to really get more information to see really what people are going to do with semis this morning. That's really the name of the game. Okay, so everybody have a great day, stay green, and most likely we'll hear from me tomorrow. All right, take it easy.